What if I told you that you could build an elite functional engine without sacrificing your strength or muscle mass? Well, I've developed a way that you absolutely can do this, and I've split this particular approach into 3 different separate sections that I'm going to walk you through in the functional conditioning session that I'm about to jump into now. Let's go. Okay, so quick little functional warm-up done. The 3 different sections of the session, basically 3 different stages of how I execute and how within Alchemy Athletic, my personal training brand, executes their kind of like functional engine work that is designed to build that aerobic base. It's designed to build that speed and quick recovery capacity as well, all whilst making sure that we keep intact flipping hard efforts from the weight room. So the first section of the 3 is basically a push-pull legs tricep. Today's prescription for that, and this is obviously because it is a conditioning focus, the rest period is fairly low and the reps are a little bit higher. Push exercise to start with is hammer grip incline dumbbell bench. I'm a big fan of incline dumbbell bench instead of flat dumbbell bench. Just feels a little bit A, safer on my shoulder, and B, better for my pecs. So 12 reps of this, and then 10 reps of neutral grip pull-ups, so basically both neutral grips, so almost kind of a mirror exercise, and then some cyclist goblet squats, so some heels raised nice and high, and 18 reps for that, holding a dumbbell or heavy kettlebell in front. No more than probably about 20 seconds between, and this is striking that middle ground between the fact that it is metabolic, but it's also a little bit anabolic, because the reps are low enough that it isn't just so light that it's only working the aerobic system. We are getting a little bit of a localized pump in the muscles that we're working as well. And the reason that we do push-pull legs together in the tricep like this is basically because of something called PHA, or peripheral heart action. And it is this physiological principle that suggests that basically if we do loads of push movements, our body knows that effectively the push levers, our triceps, our pecs, our shoulders, are the bits that are working, so it dilates all the blood vessels in those areas. It pumps all the nutrient-filled oxygenated blood to that area, and then it has to very quickly divert all of that oxygenated nutrient-filled blood to the pull levers when we start the pull-ups, and then divert it down to the lower body. And that process of dilating blood vessels in certain parts of the body and constricting others is super metabolic and super good for your fitness. 3 rounds with very little break. Let's go. Section 1 done, in the bag. That was flipping spicy actually. Like generally the reps past about 8, it's like I'm fairly elastic, so I can kind of drop down with most of the things. The press, the pull-ups and the squats, drop down, get that stretch reflex and then push up. That's section 1 done, the push-pull legs tricep. It's a little bit more intense, so the intensity over the course of this conditioning session is basically front-loaded at the beginning and then it goes down. Stage 2 is mixed modality, but mixed modality steady state. It's basically perform a 30-minute row, but every 30 minutes complete 20 press-ups and 20 butterfly sit-ups. And this is just a way of maintaining that aerobic base steady state engine, but mixing the movements up so you're not literally just doing a monostructural thing with one particular piece of kit, where that can just basically be a bit of a head fuck and a bit boring. I used to really not like this longer stuff. I used to be all about the intensity with conditioning, sprint, recover, and that has its place. I'm now more so for my headspace than anything else, really falling in love with the mixed modality stuff. So a 30-minute anything, even if it was mixed modality and a few different things involved, I don't think I would have enjoyed it much before, because I wasn't very good at pacing and I like to kind of push hard, but now I genuinely love this stuff. So that is stage 2, mixed modality, steady state. That's enough waffle, let's crack on. And that is section 2 done. That was significantly flipping harder than I was expecting, actually. The rower seems, for me, like something I've just become deconditioned on. I don't know about whether or not you guys feel this way. If you know one way or the other, please comment below. For me, a particular piece of erg kit is always my favorite at the moment. There's always like a middle ground one, and there's always one that I just feel horrendously flipping deconditioning. And the rower, even though I'm probably using that weirdly more in some of the classes that I'm doing, I feel very deconditioned in that at the moment. Found the pacing quite hard. I think one of the head fucks with something like a 30-minute workout like that is gets pretty challenging. Same as yomping. If you guys have seen my yomping video, go back, Army Rangers 12-mile ruck test. It gets pretty spicy within the first kind of 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and you start to panic because you think, bloody hell, I've got half an hour, 3 hours, whatever it may be of that. But it doesn't get any worse. It just kind of stays at that point, and then the panic of that experience of fatigue starts to drop. Anyway, so that's section 1 done, that's section 2 done. Section 3, the third and final section, moving away. This is where kind of the intensity does actually spike back up again, is some ski erg sprints. So basically what we're gonna do now is it's effectively 12 calories or 20 seconds-ish, and then rest. In fact, completed it in kind of an EMOM, it doesn't really matter, but having some level of maximal intent, allowing the central nervous system activation to kind of weave its way in to some kind of conditioning session, is a very, very, very flipping good technique, I think, and I think it's something that is underutilized. And if you don't think this is conditioning, trust me, it is. And having some kind of sprint at the finish part of a conditioning workout makes a hell of a lot of sense. If you want a decent engine, it's always good to speed up towards the end anyway and leave that fucking gas tank empty. And effectively, I've done the little push-pull tricep. I've done the main kind of bulk of the session, which is that 30-minute row. And now finishing off with some sprints, you can get more bang for your buck in that shorter amount of time than you can in pretty much anything else. I'm continuing to talk to get as much recovery, which is weak of me, so onto the ski erg, and we'll finish that now. And job done and in the bag, all 3 sections done. I'm a big fan of that approach, A, because it weaves a few different levels of intensity in there, with the tricep at the beginning, far more low intensity steady state stuff in the middle, which is kind of the linchpin that holds it all together, but then finishing off with something that's a little bit more maximal intent again, almost like kind of similar to the primers that we do, but at the end it replicates the sprint finish if you do want to kind of compete in anything, but leaving everything in the tank means you can get a session like this done, including warm up and cool down in, I don't know, flipping 50-55 minutes, which for me, that leverage of getting as much bang for your buck is important. I'm not bitching out, I'm not pussying out with it, but at the end of the day, I say this all the time, if you get a certain amount of training adaptation in 50 minutes, if doubling that to 1 hour and 40 gives you an extra 5% benefit, in fact, it wouldn't even do that because 5% is quite large, maybe 1.5, maybe 2, that's still not a trade-off that I'm willing to make with the amount of time that I want to give to my training. And I literally have a fitness YouTube channel. Obviously, I run a fitness company. Training is a huge part of my identity and is kind of the linchpin of my passion, but I still don't want to be spending 3.5 hours a day in the gym, because protecting my love for what I do is so flipping important, and getting in there, getting an amazing session and then getting out so I can actually be fit in the real world is far more of a priority for me now that I'm in my 30s. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do smash that like button. Any questions on anything we've covered, or if you want any more information on the Master Generalist program, which is the flagship program of Alchemy Athletic, that is my training brand, then just DM me on Instagram or comment here and I'll give you all the details. Any requests or suggestions on anything that you would like to see, please put that down in the comment section below. And in fact, please just put down in the comment section anything you can, because it helps feed the algorithm. In fact, if you just write algorithm and then a thumbs up emoji, I will be very grateful for that, so that will be amazing. And as always, guys, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.